Well, that's right, folks. We're live again. I know you guys are catching this part on the replay. Stick around. There'll be a lot of interesting topic as people come in. But just remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the alert bell, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends. Share with your friends, everybody. Let me thank everybody for coming in. I should come in tonight because I may not get a chance to do that. And when you come in, just say hello. Don't be shy. Can't be shy on this channel, everybody. It's been a pretty good day here, busy day. There we go. Interesting news going on in the immigration sector today. Kind of interesting, I thought. You okay, Lily? Lily's my dog with the crippled foot. Sometimes she struggles, so I always like to check. We're going to try to go bicycling a little bit later, everybody. It's about in the mid 80s. We did have a rainstorm about 30 minutes ago that came through. Just kind of like a weird pop-up shower came through and rained on us, and then it went away. But now it's nice out. So I'm going to try to get a bike ride in. My ankle's a little messed up from walking so much this weekend. But we're going to try. I'm going to try. Say we. You're not going to go with me, are you? So, but I need to get some exercise. So we're going to try to do a little biking. I need to start. I need to get the bike rack back on the back of the truck, and I need to find some new places to go cycling around us. Because where I go is pretty boring. I get bored easily, right? So when I go cycling, I get really bored. And where we live, it's not easy to get to user-friendly trails. It's just not. And of course, we have a couple monster hills around us that are too big for me to handle. So there are a couple places I can go, but the hill is so damn big that I can't get up the hill. So that one doesn't do me any good. But I get bored riding around the neighborhood, riding around. But I'm on an e-bike, so it's not like I'm the one doing all the work. The e-bike's doing a lot of the work. It's just causing you to get some exercise, leg movement, as much as you want or don't want. So that's what I like about that. So, you know, crazy. Definitely got to get a new mobility scooter, I've decided. So I'm working on that. If anybody has any advice on mobility scooters, I am happy to hear that. And let me tell you, you got to get me a new one. But, it can be hard to pick things out. It really can. And we have a big debate about this. That noise will be gone in a minute or two, everybody, so just hang with us. So part of what we're looking at, John's in the house. Hey, John, how are you? Give the lawn mowing guy a minute and he'll be gone. So don't stress over the noise. He'll be gone and he's just blowing the grass. I can tell he's almost done. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you for saying hi. Thank you for giving us a thumbs up. John, how's things going for you, buddy? A lot going on today, man. I think, well, there's a lot for us going on. It's a beautiful day here, by the way. Get you guys caught up on the weather. It's about mid 80s. We had a storm come through a little while ago, but there's a pop up 15 minutes and it's gone. So now we're just enjoying the weather until I go biking later. So, for the topic today, which is how do you feel about kitchen nudity? Nudity. So I can't even pronounce nudity right because I want to say annuity, like in money. I found out today when I was working on this that I have trouble pronouncing nudity. I don't know what the problem with me is because I keep thinking of annuities, like in money. So I'm a little weird. Big John says, bad if you have an ugly body, good to see a good, yeah, good if you got a good body. Corbin is in the house. We are in the United States, Corbin. How are you? Where are you from? Thank you for the thumbs up. Do you have a YouTube channel or anything? You're a beefsteak body. I think I would probably be more like a saggy pear, a rotten pear. Might be mine. But I heard something about that today. Whether is it unhygienic? Some people go, "Oh my God, it's so unhygienic," and I'm like, all the crap you do in your kitchen, are you really worried about? And what about the people that have sex in their kitchen? Do they got to sterilize the kitchen? It's not like it's a commercial kitchen. Now, if it's now, there are rules against it in commercial kitchens. I know this. There's been people fired for making little videos about them taking a bath in the kitchen sink and things. And then the health department comes in and finds the restaurant, and the restaurant has to sanitize the entire things. It's in the eye of the beholder. It is, John. I killed a bunch of wasps the other day, but a few got away. And now the few that I didn't kill that was in that nest is trying to find a new place to build a home. So I'm trying to watch them to make sure they don't go, places. Or if they start going somewhere, I can spray them and kill them and get them out of here. Well, and it also kind of just depends on the day of the week, right? How you feel. Some days, some things look good, and some days, some things don't look good. But yeah, is it unhygienic? You know, is that a factor in this? Yes, WASP is a racial word. It is white. I can't remember what it stands for. White something something Protestant, right? White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Wasn't that what that was? WASP was that? White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, if I remember right, in my history books. So yeah, we got them, this time of the year, and I don't like them. So I'm always checking out when I see them, where they're going, where they might be going, not going, where they're going to build a nest. Is it called a nest? And hive, I don't know what you call it. But I don't like them, so I'm always, watching for them and killing them as soon as I can, is what I do. And so I found one the other day in my fence, in a little weird place in my fence. So I got the bug spray out and went to town, but a couple of them escaped. And one of them went into my wind chime, I'm noticing. I have some wind chime. I love wind chimes. I don't only have one wind chime, but I love wind chimes. But one of them went into the tube of my wind chime. So I'm starting to think they're going to try to build a nest in that tube. So I'm going to it later because I don't want them building a nest in my tube. I don't want a nest in my tube. I don't want it. I don't want it, man. So how's things out in your part of the world, John? How's your weather? Are you getting excited about Minnesota? Or is that just something that you have to do? No excitement. Ruben is back. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? I'm doing good. Ruben, how are you today? How do you feel about kitchen nudity? See, nudity, I wish I could, I'm having trouble pronouncing, the nakedness word, but Thumbs up. Yep. All right. Good. That's exciting. I'm happy for you. I get probably where you're trying to go with all the stupid, you know, places that make you do all these weird things that jump through hoops. We're doing pretty good today. You know, it's Monday here, so it's trash day. So Mondays, I always got to make sure all the trash is out, which I do. And I usually clean up the floors a little bit on Mondays. And bob it, B-O-B it, bob it. That's right, bob it, yeah. Like number 5, which is appreciated. So I got the trash all taken out. We seem to generate a lot of trash. I don't know how we get so. There's only 2 people in this damn house. How do we get so much trash? That's what I want to know. What I want to know is how 2 people are always broke, you know, and David doesn't buy anything. I don't understand this. But yeah, today's Monday, trash day. I am going to go for a bike ride later as the sun starts to set. So, but yeah, you know, the weird thing is, you guys may not believe this, but I kind of like trash day because I like all the trash out of here. You know, stay away from the knives. Bob it, don't. Oh, yeah. Bob it. I got you. Yeah. What was his? You know, I went to high school. I went to public schools with a guy named Bobbitt, Larry Bobbitt. They had a big family. They were ugly kids, well, ugly people. I mean, they were really a weird looking group of people, but their last names were Bobbitt. They had a daughter who had really big boobs, but she was ugly. Don't get Mama mad. That's right. That's right. Tim is in the house. Tim, how are you? Good evening. Everybody say hello to Tim. Tim, say hello to Buddy. John and Tim saying hello to you. But I wish my trash can was bigger because I don't know how we got some. I like throwing things away, I guess. You know, I'm okay with that. I'm like, yeah, we don't need that. Don't buy it. I tried to convince my wife, look, don't buy it. You know, that's the key. We don't need to buy it. And, you know, I'm in that real big mode of not trying to buy stuff, I think. Unless you saw my videos over the weekend where we did nothing but buy stuff. So today I'm anti-buying. Yesterday and the day before I was semi-pro buying. So, Tim, how do you feel about kitchen nudity? Man, you guys are going to kill me tonight without being able to pronounce a simple word like nudity. Nudity. I want to say annuities, like the money, because I'm working on some financial stuff, so I got shit in my brain. And you know, all I have is squishy brain, so it just kind of rattles around in there. John said, hello, Tim. Trash makes me trip and fall down. It does. I like taking the trash. I like clean. You know, I told my wife today, if we won the big lottery, the first thing we would do, and I mean this, the first phone call I would be making is to a maid service. You know, I want you here and I want you here now and I want this house spotless, you know. And then while they're cleaning it, we're going to catch the jet plane and fly off to buy our mansion. But in the meantime, I'm going to hire a maid immediately. First call, come get it. Get your nudity only if not cooking. Ooh. Tim, is that for safety or for hygiene? You know, safety or hygiene? I, I, I agree. I don't think it's smart to cook naked if you're using hot grease and oil. You may get a surprise or two. A surprise. We don't cook it with a lot of grease, to be honest. But we do have some of those grease catchers that you put on top of the pans or the skillets, you know, those mesh screens. Those are great. We use those. But Lorelai doesn't like the popping. Lorelai taught me a secret, though, and I didn't know this, or I didn't think of it. I knew it, but I didn't interpret it to where you could use it for cooking. She she told me, said, look, when you're frying something and you wanted to get it even more crispy-ish, just take a little bit of water and drop it in the boiling hot grease. And I told her, if you do that, you're going to have a grease explosion. You know that, right? She's like, well, yeah, but you don't put like a cup of water in the hot boiling grease. You put a few drops in it. And I'm like, all right, I get you. So you're having mini explosions, except for one gigantic big one, because you never mix oil hot oil and water together. All right, never do that. You'll get an explosion. But if you do it controlled, a few drops, and then you can get the grease to flare up, and it makes the fish crispier. So, but yeah, it's definitely a safety issue, Tim. Now the other question about that: how many people have been naked in their kitchen? Or because here's what I think. I think everybody. I would be shocked because I believe it would be an extremely small percentage of people that have not been naked in their kitchen at one time and point. Because, if you're alive, you're usually naked everywhere in your house at one point in time. You forget a towel, or you got to go get some clothes, or you got to do this, or, you're having a hot evening and you need something to drink, so you run into the kitchen real quick so you can get back to the bedroom and get back to action. I'm just saying, I got a feeling the percentage of people who, now, the percentage of people that cook and run around in the kitchen nude, well, that might be kind of small. I don't know. I don't do that. But nudity in the kitchen. Woo-hoo. And can you be nude in somebody else's kitchen? Is that appropriate? If I'm staying over at Tim's house, and can I go get nude in his kitchen? You know? Oh my God. I don't put on clothes when I get my midnight snack. See? See? That's what I mean. And also, hot flashes, no clothes, body wants oxygen and airflow. Yes, I agree with that. I think nudity is a great thing. I do. I don't have any problem with it. I do think it's healthy for the body. I do. I really do. I think we get caught up into things way too much, but I do think a human body, same thing with water. I think the human body needs to be around water a lot. Um, I really do. I know we can drink a lot of water and stay hydrated, but I think the healthy people are people that are exposed to like lakes and rivers and the ocean a lot. People that swim in bodies of water, I think they're the healthy people. I think for some reason that water, I know it hydrates the skin, right? But it rejuvenates you. Yeah, I drink a lot too. Well, I don't. I lied. I lied, John. John, I'm a liar. I don't drink a lot. I only drink probably a bottle a day of water, but I do drink iced tea. But I don't drink enough water. I'm one of these people that run on the dehydrated verge. My doctors have told me I'm to that point. I'm not dehydrated, but I'm definitely not hydrated enough. Nudity is okay, but where do you put your keys? Oh, Tim. Now, some of us, as long as the key ring is big enough to fit, big enough around, there's some of us that can just take them with us. I just come inside from laying in the sun. I sprayed the ground with water. Yeah, see, for ground, yeah. I mean, I really do. I know I feel better, no matter even taking showers. But if I can go swim in good, clean water like the ocean, or a good river, or a good, clean lake, when you come out of there, I just feel better. I hang my keys around my neck. Oh, all right, all right. Well, some people could hang them on their ears, I guess. You'd have to. But if you have a chain on, are you naked? Are you a nudity? Are you a naked boy if you got a chain on? I think chains. Well, and that leads you to another question. What is what does being naked mean? Does it mean not having anything on your body? Not your no rings, no jewelry, no anything? I don't know. But it's a good question, y'all. Y'all got good questions. Yeah, I think everybody does nudity. Except for maybe, you know, I saw some more videos today of woke people criticizing the Sydney Sweeney commercials about jeans because, she's good looking and she's white and she got tits and she's skinny. And I saw some more today and I'm like, I'm sure those people don't get naked because they're ugly and fat. Yeah, the only ones that are criticizing are ugly fat people. Ruff, ruff. Chain and dog collar. Oh, you got to have the chain and dog collar. I see what. Ah. So do you have a master and a slave thing going on there? Dragging you around by the dog collar? I hope it's a studded one. I think I scared some people in the mall this weekend, guys. I got thinking about this. My dog died a while back, my wiener dog, and I really missed my dog. And I saw and I know they're a gay couple, and that's fine. But I saw this couple, and he had a bag, and he had two wiener dogs in it, small ones. And I'm like, oh my god, that one kind of looks like my dog. And so I'm stalking him in the mall, and I'm thinking, because I'm on my mobility scooter, Lorelai's looking at clothes. And I'm like, oh, look at those cute little doggies. I'm like, oh, I wonder if I could go talk to him and pet his doggies. And so I kind of wait for him outside of the store. And I said, hey, sorry to bother you, but you guys all saw it on the live stream. I was live doing it. I said, hey, would you mind if I pet your dogs? And I said, I'm sorry, but I lost mine a while back. And, your dog, and he's like, I got to go pee, sorry, and ran off. And I'm like, man, did I scare the guy? Was he afraid I was going to steal his dogs or beat him up? And I don't know, but I got thinking, man, I don't think that guy appreciated me. That reminds me, I need to get my dog tags out for a vacation. Okay, nice. You taking your doggy tags with you? Yeah. I think I scared that poor guy. I just wanted to pet his damn dogs, you know. Yeah. He needed to go get a hold of him. Yeah, maybe. I agree. I don't know. The weird thing was, you could tell he was the dominant, which is fine. The other guy never said a word to me. It was weird, but I don't. Maybe he was. I don't know. But I just wanted to pet his damn dogs and see his dogs. They were really pretty doppels. And like, oh, I miss my dog. But whatever. I scare people everywhere, I guess. Can't make everybody happy. So, he had to go get a hold of himself in the bathroom. I don't know why. Maybe he got excited because somebody wanted to play with his wiener. Oh, is that where you were going with that? Somebody came to play with his wiener and he got excited. Throw that out there. He might have thought you might steal his lady. Well, maybe. Maybe. I didn't want his lady because I don't like that type of lady, but, his lady was probably 6 foot tall, about 300 pounds, with a big beard. Bigger than me, bigger guy than me. Looked like a nice older gentleman, but bigger guy than me. So not my type. But maybe he was afraid. Yeah, maybe he got excited because somebody wanted to touch his wieners, But they were cute doggies. They were really cute. And I keep debating about getting another dog or not, and whether we should or shouldn't. And the money is so expensive, and we don't have the money to buy one anyway. So, but I keep debating, and I know what I want. Lorelai doesn't care what I want. So, Lorelai, if you're listening, Lorelai can't. Lorelai can't hang out in the background and spy on us as much as she used to now. They moved her to a different building that is designed differently. So even while she's working, she can't have her phone out and spy on us. Just thought I'd let you guys know that. Uh, she's in a bigger group of people all the way around her. In her other building, she was kind of isolated in a big cubicle where she could just kind of hang out and do her thing. Yeah, John, that's one of the biggest things. We can't get a dog. We might go to the Philippines in 26. That's the thing. Our dog Lily is 8.5, 9 years old now. We don't really have any family to take care of our dogs. We do have I don't, so traveling. We're gonna go back to the Philippines we're gonna go back to the Philippines in 1927. No, we're gonna go back to the Philippines in 2027 for sure. We can't take Lily with us. We're only gonna be gone a month, so somebody will have to watch her here. We have two dogs. It's a bigger burden. Plus, cruise shipping, other traveling. You know, it's a real mixed bag because they are a pain in the ass. They are expensive. They are needy and need to be taken care of. And you got to find somebody to watch them if you're going to go overseas. And, but yet, you know, I really miss my dog. My dog, you know, my dog Daisy was good for me. Wow, getting 2.8 acres, and wow. But you're going to go up there in that land of Minnesota, so you need to get one of those Siberian Huskies. That's what you need to do. So, but I agree with you. It's kind of like, well, who's going to take care of the dogs? I mean, right now we have somebody that can take care of Lily while if we went on a cruise this year, but we're not. We're planning for a cruise next year, I guess. Um, so yeah, you know, and if you have good pets, they get connected to you, right? And so I heard a thing the other day from I can't remember that guy his name. Damn, there's a physicist out there that does a lot of TikTok or Facebook or YouTube or whatever he is. Really smart guy. Can't remember his name. Really like him. He's about our age. Really smart. And he told why his theory about dogs. He gave his theory about dogs, and I like it. No, no, you can't take pets at all on a cruise ship. No, where would they go to the bathroom? I mean, if they, you know, they could probably do it by doing a pet-friendly area, but no, kind of like living in a condo. Because some condominium complexes, they got like designated artificial pet relief areas systems in place. They got them in the Philippines. One of the condos we stayed in the Philippines had like on the eighth story, it had a dog area, a pet area. Or you could go downstairs to the outside, which I did a lot. I took our dog, man, it's a lot of work. A lot of work having a dog in the Philippines. A lot of work, if especially you're in a condo and places like that, a lot of freaking work. So I don't recommend it. Plus, it's very, very expensive. We spend a lot of money taking our dogs back and forth. No, but we do book Airbnbs, and that's the other thing. When we book Airbnbs because we can find some that are pet friendly, but they're more expensive. So we pay a premium for an Airbnb. We could book a hotel that says that they're pet friendly, but what I worry about when I book hotels, and they are more expensive, they definitely give you a premium for having your pet. But I don't like the fact of my dog being left in a hotel room, and if she gets upset and starts barking all day long, the neighbors, the other people in the hotel room, complaining and disturbing them. So that's why we book Airbnbs when we have the dogs instead of hotels. But both are added expense. I mean, you're usually talking about a $100 non-refundable deposit and $50 a day for the dog, per dog. So at some places it's $25. But you're talking about a lot of places charge you $50 a day for your dog. So thank you all for the thumbs up. Everybody hiding in the background, feel forward to come forward and talk about nudity. Nudity? Nudities is money. So they definitely add to the wallet. But the emotional support I got from Daisy, you know, I don't know. That's where I balance out. I'm like, you know, I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough decision. So I've told Lorelai that my plan right now is just kind of wait and see. Sometimes it's better just to wait and see what happens. And if the right doggy pops up in the future, and we're not going to be doing much international traveling, blah, 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 or something, I don't know, maybe. If it's the right dog, I would definitely give it a big, big consideration. But right now, we're probably better off just, I mean, Lily is lonely and bored because she doesn't have a playmate. So I feel bad for her because wiener dogs are very pack oriented. They like to have other animals around them. So that's what we do there. But nothing I can do about that at the moment. So kind of just waiting and seeing. But you would think the cruise lines would allow dogs because they allow children. You know. Ozzy's back. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you, everybody. Hello to Ozzy. How are things in your world? It's Monday. I survived the weekend. I did. My wife only spent $300. Thank God that's all we spent. Now $250. So I'm very happy. I got away. I got away with only a $250 loss this weekend. So good to see you, buddy. You doing good? Tim says, I will be back in a while. I got to go get naked and go to the kitchen. So how do you feel about nudity in the kitchen? Is it good or bad? Do you approve or disapprove? Thanks for the thumbs up. We're almost to 4,000 subscribers. So I'm excited about that. We're getting close. 90 degrees in New Hampshire. You know, it's really nice here, to be honest. We're about 85 degrees with a light breeze. I'm going to go biking shortly. Later on when I'm done with this, I'm going to go take a bike ride. We had a storm come through earlier, knocked the temperature down a little bit, but it was like a 5-minute storm, so it didn't do much. Yet, but it's a beautiful evening here. I mean, beautiful evening. And I don't think we got above 85 degrees today. Beautiful evening. I'm excited. The weather's nice. I like it when the weather's like this. I do. Never been to New Hampshire, though. So, you know, I really do debate and beat myself up about my dog. You know, I miss my dog more than you can imagine. My dog did so much for me. So I kind of got to just do a wait and see thing. Very humid here. Yeah, we've had some high humidities here, but today it's not. I mean, it feels like one of those days that is just a good weather day here. Now, tomorrow it's probably going to suck. You know, I was almost going to go fishing tonight, but I forgot about it. And then today's trash day for me. Monday's trash day. So I got to get my house all trashed out and get it to the curb for them to pick up at 6 a.m. Tuesday morning. The trash people come at 6 a.m. on Tuesday mornings to this neighborhood. My wife said we will have chickens for eggs for after winter. So I'm confused, John. So you guys are going to buy chickens so you can have eggs for the winter? Oh, up there in Minnesota land? Or when spring comes around, you're going to buy chickens because during the winter they'd all freeze to death in Minnesota? All right, you're going to raise some chickens in the spring. Nice, nice. The spring of 26. Gotcha. So what are you thinking about doing while are you just going to go back and visit family in 26, John, for your trip to the Philippines? Is that what I mean, because you're not going to, are you considering moving there permanently or for a few years? You know, I know a lot of guys have moved over with their young children and put them in Philippine schools. I know, you know, a good number of guys that have done that, and they seem to be okay. I didn't know if that's where you're going. Ozzy says, I've had 5 or 6 Boston Terriers since the late 90s. Some really good ones and had some really bad Boston Terriers. Wow. Yeah, they're beautiful looking dogs. My doctor is a Boston Terrier friend. Hillbilly, there he is. Hillbilly in the Asia. How are you, buddy? Hillbilly, good to see you. Yeah, we have wiener dogs, or I did, and these are my, you know, we had 2, now we're down to 1. My wiener, dang it, a bug trying to kill me. So, everybody say hello to Hillbilly for me, please. Thank you for the thumbs up. Ah, you're going to go check on the house that you guys had. Yeah, I know where you're going with that. Uh, gonna lock up. It's going to lock up in a second, guys, so just be patient. Uh, well, maybe not. I'll message her. Maybe she knows I'm mine. Lorelai's getting ready to spy on us. Everybody be nice. Yeah, I know a lot of people that have built houses in the Philippines, and they get there and they go, I don't know about this. Is this the house that we paid all of that large sum of money for? Where did it all go? Let me get caught up here. We will check on my wife's house. What's up, Billy? Thank you for saying hi. She started to ride, driving the new e-bike. Great. That I like that. Big John is saying hello. My wife Lorelai is in the chat. She says hello there. Big John. Yep, I just checked you here. I see she's spying on us. I just told them a little bit ago that your new work environment wasn't conducive to you spying on us, but here you are. So, Pat, good evening. Hello, Lorelai and Brother David. Thank you for being here. Hi, everybody. Just stopping by. So, welfare check. That's right. That's right. Welfare check. She's checking on our welfare. So, but John, I know what you mean, man. So, how's the e-bike going, Hillbilly? What's how? Tell us a little bit about the e-bike situation. How's she doing? She said, okay, here it was. She said she was scared on the first day drive. The e-bike, the hands were, oh my gosh. I bet you she was nervous about it. I'm going to take my e-bike for a bike ride a little bit later. That's cool though, man. Those are beautiful. Those are really cool. I wish, that's the sad thing. In America, they would never work. We couldn't have them. I mean, it just doesn't work. That's one of the cool things about Asia is all the weird bikes and trikes that you can have in Asia, and nobody cares about. In America, they would just run you over and kill you. Lorelai is saying she's busy at work. Nice. Hello, Ruben from Pat. All right, talk to you later when I'm home. All right. They're trying to figure out, her and some friends are trying to figure out, my wife and her friends are trying to figure out when they're going to go, if they're going to go to this LGPA golf tournament that we have here locally. Last year they went and Lorelai got to meet a bunch of people and they interviewed her for the news and all of that stuff. And they give away free food, I guess. You got to pay to get in. But there's a bunch of what do they call those, swag bags? Is that right? So you get a bunch of swag if you go. So nothing hurt her. I don't want to go. I'm not going. So, well, Hillbilly, I'm looking at the fact that I need to get a new mobility scooter. I really do. After going this weekend on the one I have, I've decided I got to break down and which is expensive, and figure out a good mobility scooter. So I'm working on that now. She's now drive for 3 days. She's at half speed on the e-bike. Good. Driving the kids to school. All right, man. You can't beat that, buddy, right? It's a beautiful e-bike. I mean, good job. She'll get used to it and get more comfortable with it. But it's really good for her to kind of be on guard with it because you never know. You got to get used to things and get comfortable. But I would like to have one. I would just get ran over in America. Because you know how it is here in America. If we took an e-bike or an e-trike like that and we tried to get out on the highway to go to Walmart, man, we just get ran over. There'd be no love for us. And you can't ride on the sidewalk because you get arrested for that. I mean, which is really silly because if they would figure out how you could do more smaller units in America, you might be better off. But, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But I need to get a new mobility scooter. It's something I've been studying. I've been studying it for a couple of years. I got a video I need to finish making about mobility scooters, teaching you the pros and cons and what to look for. And but I've decided after being on mine this weekend, it just hurt. It's just too small. I got to get something done. And so what I'm thinking about doing, and all these little bugs are biting me. What I'm thinking about doing is buying a new one that we can use for traveling, right? So that would be airplane friendly, cruise ship friendly, all of that, you know. It wouldn't be great for outdoor use. So the one that I got that's too small, what I'm thinking about doing is going and seeing if I can buy, I don't know if you guys know how boat seats work. Like if you got a bass boat and you got those seats, they got these metal poles that are like shocks. I'm going to go see if I can find like a 6-inch one or an 8 and 12-inch one and extend my seat up so that I'm not so crunched down. And then and if I can find something like that where I sit higher, ergonomically it works better, then I'm going to put bigger tires on it and I'll just use it for going fishing and doing outdoor stuff in. She's going to try to drive it to the wet market, which is a 30-minute drive. Max speed is 40. Wow, that's great. Wow, that's exciting. I hope she can do it. I hope she feels good about it. How are you feeling about it? Do you feel nervous with her driving it? Or, I mean, how do you feel? Big John says, I got 2 new bamboo back scratchers from Amazon today. That's nice, John. I like back scratchers. I got a couple of them. We like bamboo. I got a wind chime that's a bamboo. I really like wind chimes. And I really like to have one of those really nice ones. But Jesus, have you seen how much good wind chimes are? They can be 150 bucks. 100 to 150 bucks for a nice real wind chime, not one that's just made out of metal and junk, but one that actually has tunes in it. Jesus, I saw them, up at over $300 at one place. So I got a bamboo wind chime, and I think that's where the wasp is trying to make a nest. So later I'm going to take a can of spray. Well, I'm going to look in there first and see. But I thought you had John, I thought you had a Filipina back scratcher. Her brother's training her, so he drives the tricycle. Okay, okay. That's good. I like them. I think they're cool, man. I just wish, I lived somewhere like in a area, like a golf course, no, a golf cart friendly community, and we're not in one. But there's a lot of places in like Alabama, Florida, Texas that are golf cart friendly, and you could get one of those cool things that you see in Asia and get away with it in one of those, and you'd be all right. Because they even have pathways for golf carts to drive on versus the cars. Like all through Alabama and Florida is all over the place. So then you could buy one of those really cool ones. I don't know if I could get one here. Maybe I'll go shopping someday and see if we can find what kind of scooters, Asian style scooters you can find in America. That'd be a good video. All right, Lorelai, make a note of that. We're going to go on a trip sometime looking for not mobility scooters, but trikes, electric scooters, and such that you might see or used in Asia a lot. But I got to get another mobility scooter, so I'm looking at those. But every one of them is over 2,000 bucks, so it's a lot of money, a lot of money. And I got to figure out which is the right one for traveling. So if we buy one that's for traveling, that you could take a little bit of outdoors, but can fold up and go in a car or a plane that's airline approved, all of that is where we need to go. He has a AM FM with CD with USB stereo. That's funny. Wow, that's good. It has a FM AM CD player, right? That's nice. I saw the video that Bud Brown did about his new Russo. I saw his video the other day. If anybody hadn't seen it, he got a new one. because I guess he's back in the Philippines, and he has a new one. And he gave a video tour of it. And his is I think it's a Russo. I think it's a Russo. But he talked about how the fact, so the pros and cons of it. And he said he thought he didn't get a radio with his. Big John says, I used to see an old lady in a small town in Montana that drove her riding lawnmower around town to get her. Yeah, I've seen people on TV get arrested for that, John. I've seen there's a video out there. I don't know how old it is now, but there's a drunk guy riding a lawnmower, drinking and driving, and he thinks he can't be arrested being a drinking and driving because he's on a lawnmower. That video has to be a good 20 years old, you know. But yeah, you got to make it happen, right? I mean, look, I live in a neighborhood, but if I had a riding lawnmower and needed to go see my buddy, I might take it over there and mow his yard. She has two 7-inch USB fans. Nice. Yeah, because it gets hot in the Philippines. I like the heat in the Philippines, I got to admit. But it definitely gets, if you don't got any air movement, it gets a little rough. But I like them. I'm jealous, to be honest. I would love to have what you guys have. I mean, you're doing great, man. I love it. So when do you get to go? John's going to go back in 26, he says, for a visit. Lorelei and I are going back in 27 to take care of some business in the Philippines and visit. But Hillbilly, when are you going to get to go back? Anytime soon, or what's your schedule like? I know HTN Henry from Mississippi says he's going over in October so that he can marry young Miss Filipina Bai. So, but I don't know if he's got his ticket yet or not. But I know he's going over in October. And Pat, who's back in the background there, he's going over next year, he hopes. So March of 26. Okay, so not very much longer. So about 9 months. So are you going to get to stay? What's your, But it's good that you're getting to go back over in March. So we got some Filipina couple here. We call them the Giovannis that are having a baby in March or February. So we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to have to be here for them. We were hoping to move to Alabama, but it's definitely on hold until next year now. Waiting on the interest rates to drop, waiting on them to have a baby, all of that crap. Okay, legally retired not until 07 to 20. So you're getting close. I talked to Ken Unger the other day. Ken was on here, and he's 1 year away from retirement too. And 1 year away, and he's off to the Philippines permanently to be with Maureen. So I know he's excited, but he's down to 1 year. We keep counting down, when he gets to retire. So I talked to him. He was on one of the lives the other day, and I asked him. He's like, "Yeah, he's a year. He's got a year to go, and he's out of here." So that's good. And I know you already got things taken care of and set up in the Philippines. So for you, there's really not an adjustment. So I think that's a good thing. Oh yeah, John is old now. I forgot about that. You had a birthday recently. You became old. You got your first retirement check this month. You are officially an old man. I wish I had a retirement check. Yeah. Actually, I don't. I wish I could have a job. I miss working. You guys all know that. I wish I could work. That's why I do this, because it makes me feel like at least I'm working. Because all I did in my job was talk. So this is the same thing. All I do on here is talk. It's just like having a job. What? Hillbilly's going to buy, what are you doing here, buddy? Next, buy a Ford Ranger Y-Track. Go back, you're going to buy a Ford Ranger when you go back next time? Why would you buy a truck? Is you going to buy an old one? New one? Yeah, my thought in the Philippines is a small car, buying a new small car like the little Toyota to get around in is great. Unless you live out in the province, the country. You know what I mean? And, but hell, I would just go and buy a $4,000 multi cab that's been completely refurbished. That way, if it gets tore up and beat up, you're not out that much money. Yes, I am not walking. I'm with you. I'm with you there. I get it. The Raptor, okay. Man, you're going to be styling and profiling in the Philippines. Holy smoking butt farts. You're going to be the man, the myth, the legend. You're going to have Filipinas coming out of the woodwork saying, "Woo, hi there. How are you?" You're going to have to point all the time and say, "I'm married. That's my wife. She'll beat your ass. You better get out of here." Something like, "Well, like my truck? Yeah, I'm a truck guy too. I have a truck out there. I do. I have a truck. I don't drive it much because I don't drive much. We drive Lorelei's car more than anything. But I'm with you. I'm a truck guy too. I got an old Dodge Dakota four-wheel drive. What the best you can get back when it was new. I didn't buy it new, of course. So I got the top of the line Dodge Dakota back in the day, sitting in the driveway that I used to go fishing in, and to go to Lowe's in, and to do guy stuff in. But so I'm with you about having a truck. But and I know about the difference between being in a multi-cab and trying to drive that damn thing versus driving a real vehicle. Because those multi-cabs are not hard to drive, but they're definitely not easy to drive, especially if you're a bigger guy like me. My friend there, man, that had him, he's like, man, it's like, man, it's a little bit of work for me to get in there and but yeah, you'd rather have an F-150? Wow. I'll tell you what I am. I've had bigger trucks before, and I've had Silverados and F-150s. But at my age now, I think the medium-sized truck, the way they're being built, is way better than the money that you would spend on a full-size truck. Wow. All right. 2012 F-150 Lariat, the EcoBoost for 7K. That is pretty good. That is good. We like the Lariats. That's what I always had when I drove Fords, is the Lariats. Know them, like them. I can't remember the year model of the last one I had, but it was the one that had the recall on the spark plugs, where they had to take the engine out to change the plugs and all of this weird crap, and then all that had to be done. But I like Fords. I like Dodges. But I'm to the point, since I don't use one as a truck. I'm not hauling lumber. I'm not towing a boat, but mine tows really well. It's just kind of like the smaller the better for me, I guess. I'm just getting old. Pat says, I went to a doctor today, don't have to get surgery in the left arm or fingers yet. Good news. I have carpal tunnel in the elbow fingers. Wear a brace over my arms and hands, fingers, bedtime if it gets worse. Yeah, that brace will help alleviate the tension on the carpal tunnel tendon right here. 128,000 miles. That's all right. It should be doing fine. Lots of new vehicles on recalls. Boy, you got that right. It gets worse. Have surgery on my arm, hands, and finger. Yeah, like I told you, I've had the surgery. It's not a big deal. They just cut you open about this big, snip that tendon, and releases everything and sew you back up. Not a big deal. I was awake while they did it. They just did local numbing on the arms. Didn't bother me a bit. But I could tell the difference immediately. It felt so much better. Yeah, I like the older Fords. What if I was rich, which I'm not, I would like to have one of the Fords I like the older one. I mean, the really older ones, 70s and 80s, you know. All right, good. Well, we're glad you don't have to have surgery yet. So that's good. But right now, there's a lot of medium sized pickup trucks that are really nice, and everybody's coming out with medium sized trucks again. Some of them have Toyota engines. Yeah, I can believe that. Everybody's on the bandwagon once again to put out small trucks, smaller trucks. And that is an interesting conversation because back in the day, you guys all remember like the Nissan Pub and the little Chevy Love pickup trucks. They got rid of them and now they're coming back bigger and better. But I really like the Ford Carrier, if you remember that one. Those are cool little pickup trucks. But right now, everybody has one. Dodge is coming out with one next year. Dodge is coming out with the new Dakota next year. Ford is doing the Ford has the Ranger and the Maverick. Mazda, which I think is still part of Ford, they're coming out with another B2000 or whatever those were. Remember those? The Mazdas had the Ranger engine or Ranger body and Mazda motor or something. But they're supposed to be coming out with a new B3000 or whatever those used to be called. Those were good little fun trucks to drive around. But the Ford Maverick is probably what's closest to like a Nissan Pup, I think is what it was. Okay, so the Tundra motor, the 3.5 is the same. All right, makes sense to me. I mean, how many different ways can you build an engine? So, personally, I think right now the coolest looking mini truck or medium sized truck on the market is the GMC Canyon, fully loaded with the off road package. The way that thing sits and the fender wall, I don't know what they're called, flares. The fender flares, the way it sits is a good looking truck. Really nice. And since it's a Denali, it's fully loaded. Really nice looking truck. That's one I like. I don't know if I'd buy it, but it's one I like. Oh, well, I don't need a truck, so I wouldn't buy it. But the medium truck is big in America. And I did see where Toyota, believe it or not, I think it was Toyota. Yeah, Toyota. Toyota is trying to bring to the U.S. market one of the multi-cab type vehicles that you see in Asia. So the multi-cab, the pickup trucks, Toyota has designed one for the American market. And it's supposed to be coming out next year. And it's small like those. The good thing about it is the bed is designed all to collapse and fold down to be completely flat. And it has like, 4-sided or 3-sided gates. A very stripped down, no luxury. It's supposed to come in around $15,000 to $16,000. I've seen it. It looks it's a little bit squarer. It's very boxy. But they've made it as cheap as they can. It's supposed to be coming to the U.S. market next year. So that'd be interesting. How many people buy that? And I could see that where companies would buy it to do light duty work in. I don't think people like us would buy it to drive every day or to run around in. But little delivery companies, it's like these Ford Courier vans that are so popular in America now. Yeah, that's what it was. I couldn't remember if Ford made the motor for Mazda or Mazda made the body. I couldn't remember which was which. But back then, Ford Rangers and Mazdas were almost, identical. And I liked the older Ford Rangers. I got to admit, they were smaller than they are today, but I liked them. I like this. That's one thing I don't like. I think our medium-sized trucks should be a little bit smaller. It wouldn't hurt them if they were a little smaller like they used to be. And I think that's why Toyota went, hey, wait a minute, everybody's building these medium-sized trucks. that are not that much smaller than the big truck. So maybe we can sneak in where the Isuzu Pub and those other little bitty trucks back in the 70s and 80s, maybe we can sneak something in there and grab a market share. The Mazda body, okay, all right. I knew something like I knew they were, I'd driven both of them and they were pretty much identical. So back in the day, yeah, Mazda engines on some of the odd, yeah, yeah. What are you getting at Walmart, John? What's on your shopping list? I want to know. Tell me what's on the shopping list, John. Be safe when you go to Walmart in California. I heard California is crazy about people that go to Walmart. Is everything hidden behind walls or glass panels at your Walmart? James Robinson took me to some stores out in San Francisco where everything's locked up and you kind of got to get a tag and get somebody to help you buy it. It's kind of like, damn, that's really bad. We got to go to Walmart this week ourselves. I need a watermelon, and I got to get some more dog food for my dog named Lily. And we probably got a few other little ingredients, but I'm going to try to go this week. If I don't take Lorelei, I'll save a lot of money. So I need to go when she's at work and just get it and come home. And then when she goes, oh, I thought we were going to go together, I can say, oh, geez, I forgot. I was just running around and I stopped in and got what we needed. Locked up all of the birth control, did they? Okay. Why? I would think California needs birth control. It'd be one place I would give it out for free. The Ford Escape 2.5 is the Mazda Escape. Yeah, yes. Yep, I remember that too. I remember those were sisters or whatever we want to call them. So I remember that. Those Montanieras and the Escapes back then were okay vehicles, but not great. Not great. But right now, as an old guy, the only other vehicle that I really want, I mean, I'd love to have a new truck. Don't get me wrong, I'm a truck guy, so I'd love to have a brand new truck. But it's not practical to spend that kind of money for something that sits out in the driveway. Or the 3.0 Ford, yes. Yeah. Too much sunshine, so they need a lot of birth control to control but yeah, I'd like to have a new truck, but I don't need a new truck. What I'd like to have is a Lincoln. I'd like to have a Lincoln Aviator. It's the SUV, fully loaded, beautiful. I like to have a luxury SUV because I'm getting older, and I find even though Lorelei has the top of the line Subaru Outback, it's a great car. I'm really yearning when we travel for a luxury SUV that has, because hers is great, but seat can be a little rough in about 2 hours. So I would like to have something a little bit nicer, more plusher. And I like the Lincolns, believe it or not. I like the Lincolns. And there's others I like too. There are the other SUVs that are fully loaded. Um, you know, the BMWs, the Mercedes, but they just cost too much, and the operating cost is high. The Lexus has a nice SUV. I don't know if it's any good. The Acura, the Audi, all of those, but I keep coming back to the Lincoln Aviator. It just seems like I would like to have the Range Rover. Now, if I could afford it, I would buy the Range Rover, but I can't. So I can get a used Lincoln Aviator, about 3 years old, with about 30,000 miles on it, for about $30,000 to $35,000. So that's a good buy. Ford Mercury Mountaineer Hybrid Limited is both gas and electric. Okay. Gets 34 mpg on the highway. See, and that's what I think is funny. Lorelei's car gets 34, 36 on the highway. And it's not a hybrid. It's just a regular old Subaru gas car. I don't think Subaru makes a hybrid, but it gets that. You know, we just got back from Tulsa, Oklahoma, but we've been to Dallas. We've taken it everywhere. It gets really good gas mileage for a car. I mean, it's even fully loaded with all of our shit for traveling. It gets great gas mileage. I'm really happy with it. I'm just not happy with how the front seat gets hard on the back because it's not as plush as some of the other luxury brands or the luxury brands. Hannah's back in the house. How are you, Hannah? Thank you for coming in all the way from Seattle, Washington, if I remember right? Everybody said hello to Hannah. Hannah said hello to everybody. Hannah, I couldn't remember. Yeah, Seattle, Washington, right? Yeah, for a four-wheel drive, that's pretty good. Yeah, Lorelei's is an all-wheel drive. You're doing good? Good to hear it. We appreciate you subscribing to the channel the other day, Hannah. Pat says, hello, Hannah. Pat is a good friend of ours. Yes, correct. See, I have, to be honest with you, Hannah, and if you stick around and come around a lot, you'll find, which I hope you do, that I have a thing called squishy brain. So I forget a lot of things and I get locked. You'll see on the live streams where I get confused and I get locked. My brain locks. It's because of the brain damage I suffered being in a coma. But sometimes I remember things. I remember you were from Seattle because I don't want to go to Seattle. We're doing good today. You know, it's a beautiful day here. It's about 85, a light breeze. Here in a little bit after we get done with this, I'm going to go on a bike ride, my e-bike. I'm too fat and old and unhealthy with a bad heart to struggle with a real bicycle. But on the e-bike, I can go gently the whole way and pedal and get exercise without putting a lot of physical strain on myself. So I really enjoy the e-bike tremendously. I wish we had better places to ride around here that old fat people could ride for like 10 or 12 miles because I have a 6 mile loop but it only takes me 10, 15 minutes and it's not very safe because there's a lot of traffic, you know. So maybe it takes 25 minutes. I don't know. 6 miles. So tonight I'm going to try to do the 6 miles plus a little more. Because, you know, old fat people need to get exercise. Pat, Hannah said hello to you. Yeah, well, we were talking about that earlier with Hillbilly. You know, they got, I like the trikes. You just can't. The problem here in America is, you know, maybe you can get away with it in some of the inner cities. But if you tried one of those trikes or tut-tuts or whatever you want to call them, you know, the Roosies in America, you'd get ran over. In my part of the country, now they don't go fast enough. And you would literally get ran over. People would be so pissed off at you for going so slow. So, and of course, they have to be street legal, meet American standards. A lot of them don't and won't. But if you live in a community, like a community where golf carts, if we ever get lucky enough to do that, then I would definitely try to get a tut-tut or a Roosie or whatever you want to call them and drive it around like that instead of a golf cart because it'd be different. So, all right. Pat says, hey, everybody. Big John says, I'm getting 10 gallons of water. 2 5-gallon jugs of water. Outstanding. That's good. Thank you for the hearts there, whoever did that. Appreciate that. That's good. We got a new water purifier for our dog. Our dog has a fancy, you guys may have seen the video we did. Our dog Lily has a smart water fountain. It has a filtration system on it. And when she walks up to it, now the water comes out. So she gets fresh water every time she walks up to it. And then every 30 minutes it cycles itself anyway through the filter. So our dog has a nice water drinking thing now. Also getting what foods that look good for tonight. All right, well, get some vegetables. I'd like to have some watermelon, John, if you could do that. I wouldn't mind some really good cucumbers. I got a hankering for cucumbers. So maybe you could pick those up for me. That would be really good. But don't pick up anything heavy. I don't want anything like pizza or anything, or Walmart fried chicken. Don't buy any of that rotisserie chicken either. So something light and simple. All right, that's all I'm asking for. So, Hannah, did we ever ask you? Oh, my wife probably did because she's nosy. What did we ask you? We're trying to get to know everybody. We know you're in Seattle. We know you're from the Philippines. Do we ever figure out what you do or don't do or anything like that? Anything you want to share with us? Like how long you've been in the United States? Um, you know, do you prefer the United States than over America? And wait, you can't prefer the United States over America because the United States is part of the Americas. Do you prefer living here in the United States, and or do you prefer the Philippines? Getting eggs. I thought you got chicken eggs, like wild chicken eggs from somewhere. You don't have a chicken egg layer person there in California that can sell you real chicken? Because the white egg, Lorelai likes the brown eggs, and we get them at Sam's Club, cheaper than Walmart. They're organic brown eggs. She really likes those. I don't like eggs that much. And the funny thing is, I know those organic brown ones are probably better for you, I think, but I like the crappy white eggs. Like the Toyota 4Runner, find in the, yeah, do they call it the four, is it the 4Runner? It's Hillbilly, it's the Forte, right? Or something like that. It's a different name in the Philippines. No vinegar. I don't like vinegar. Some ranch dressing or blue cheese dressing would be fine, and that'd be okay. That's all I need. I don't like vinegar at all. I do like good cucumbers, though. Really do. Same name? Okay, okay. Fortuna. Okay, so it's the Fortuna in the Philippines, but in America, isn't it called the Forerunner or something? So it has a different name here, right? That's what it is. It's basically the Toyota 4Runner or something here, right? We like Lorelei Subaru, but I would just like to have a little bit more of a luxury vehicle. I'm old, I'm fat. I need something that the seat massages my back while I drive. You know, that warms my butt when I drive. Hers has a seat warmer and air conditioning, but it doesn't have the massage. The Lincoln has massages in the chair. So while you're driving, you can get a back massage, and that's what I want, you know. But I want to buy a used one. I have a goal in life never to buy a brand new car again. It's one thing when you get older, you realize buying brand new vehicles is dumb. You can get them slightly used and save a bunch of money. So that's my goal, never to buy another brand new vehicle. Now, with that said, when I win the lottery, the Powerball, I probably won't care. But that is kind of my goal. But we're in no hurry. We have no plans to buy anything anytime soon. I'd rather move to Alabama first and get that over with, and then do that. So we are not money spenders. We really try hard not to blow money, unless it's for purses for my wife, and then we blow money. But no, we try to. The older you get, you learn and you learn to try to do better with money, which is a good thing, I think. Pat, are you still there? I forgot to ask you. How do you feel about being naked in the kitchen? You know, uh, how do you feel about that? How's Hannah feel? Is Hannah still there? Do you think it's appropriate to go naked in your kitchen? Does anybody think it's appropriate or inappropriate to be naked in your kitchen? That was my head grabbing headlines today. But there's a man. It's crazy in America. There's so many cars. Mitsubishi is starting to make better cars. Yeah, yeah. I really like the Land Cruisers from the back in the day, the real Land Cruisers. But they're so expensive. You can pay $150,000 for a 45-year-old Land Cruiser that's been redone. You know, they are beautiful. It's kind of like the old Ford Rangers, sorry, the Ford Broncos, you know, from the 70s and the early 80s and all of that, the late 60s. Man, those are worth a fortune these days. We've looked at, my wife really likes the way a new Ford Bronco looks, the the aggressive one, the outdoor looking one, not the city one, but I can't remember, like the Badlands one, I think is what they call it. They're not real expensive, believe it or not. They're about 50 grand, 55 grand, which I think is very reasonable for that big of a vehicle. She really likes the way that looks. I don't think it'd be very luxurious to ride in, but it looks cool and it looks cool inside. My wife likes the new Toyota RAV. Oh, all right. The 2026 model, nice. I think the thing about Toyota is they make a good vehicle. Um, I do think they make a good vehicle. I mean, and of course, Toyota, and all of those are, or Honda, all of those are the, you know, are here. They do have luxury brands. So what we find, even the best of the Toyotas and Hondas, are a lot like the Subaru, which is a Japanese car. You know, their high end is not that luxurious. But they're not. Lorelai is tickled with her Subaru. She doesn't want another car. I told her a while back, said, well, you know, look, we can get really good trade-in on yours, and we can go buy you the newer version of your exact car, you know. And she's like, no, 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 I think I like mine. Buck in the kitchen. So she likes her Subaru. She doesn't want another car, but it doesn't have 30,000 miles on it. And it is nice. It's her color combination. It has everything you could imagine Subaru to have. And I will say it drives in the snow and ice like a beast. It is wow. The mud, man, it handles, I'm telling you. Subaru's got the all-wheel drive thing all figured out pretty healthy, pretty good. So, all right, my friends, I think it's time for me to go ride a bike. It's starting to get a little dark, and so I like to go about this time of the evening. So I want to thank everybody for coming in, supporting us, subscribing to us. Please come back and support us some more because we need it. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers. We're really close. Someday we hope to actually make money on YouTube. That's that's kind of like me winning the lottery, right? So, but Hillbilly says the 2011 Toyota 4Runner is 550,000 pesos. Ooh, wow, wow. That sounds a little pricey to me, Hillbilly. 550. I don't know what that is in American money. That sounds expensive. I don't know. What's it in American dollar? 70,000 miles. The mileage is okay. The Toyota, I don't worry about that mileage, especially if you just do the maintenance. And you're going to have some maintenance and repairs to do on it. But, all right, my friends, until later this week, Fat David is going to go on a bike. Oh, Lily, stop. My God, you're not going. So, we will see everybody next time. Take care. If you guys need anything, you know where to find us. Oh, 10K. All right. That's good. 10K is fine. I would do that. All right. I'm okay with that. I would. I'm okay with that one. 10K all day long. I don't think that's an issue. If it's in good shape, it's a good issue. Pat, John, everybody, appreciate you guys coming in. Hannah, good to see you again. Thank you for supporting us. Everybody take care. Until next time. See ya.